Alrighty guys, so to start your project, if you haven't even opened it up in Premiere yet, what you're going to do is you're going to open Premiere and you are going to title in the name box, you're going to make it the title of your film. So for example, the title of mine was called The Scarlet Date. Okay, and you need to tell your computer where you want it to be saved. So you're going to press the Browse button, and in your videos folder on the side here, you should have already have made a folder titled the name of your film. So you're just going to select that folder, you're going to select that folder, say select that folder, and then you're going to say OK. Okay, so now as you can see, we've started a whole new video here. So now what we want to do next is we need to import all of our video. So we should have already uploaded our video onto the computer from our SD card or the internal memory on our camera. And now, in order to do this, there's two ways. You can either double click in this box and import it that way, or you could do it the long way, which is going to File, Import, and there we go. So for me, my videos are saved in my video folder, and if you want to select all of your videos to put into here, you're going to press the first video, you're going to scroll down to the end, hold Shift on your computer, and press the last video. Then you're going to say Open, and give it a second. This is going to take some time since I have a lot of videos, and yours might as well be this long too, so just give it a minute. Alrighty, there we go. So all of our video footage has been imported, and you can see all of the videos here. So the only thing is with Premiere is if you're looking at your videos in this view with all of like the pictures or the tiles of your videos, they may not be in order. And for me, that's kind of frustrating, especially like if I filmed from my first scene to my last scene. So what you want to do is you actually want to go to this switch to list view. Let's say your videos are not in order, they're all mismatched, and you don't really know where your videos are. You want to press the name button here, and you want to press the arrow next to it, and it'll automatically organize all of those videos. So the first step of your whole project is to put your videos in the order in which they need to be to make sense. So I'm just going to pretend that I'm going to do that now by clicking these. Alright. And there we go. So I just put my videos in order real quick. If you do not want to use the dialogue or sound of your audio and you accidentally brought it into your timeline, you want to go ahead and right click and press unlink. Then you're going to press your audio and press delete on your keyboard. And now it'll only keep your video. So I've got these videos, they're in order, let's just say of how we want it to be. So now we have the problem of turning it black and white, just like the style that we're trying to get. So what we need to do for that is we need to go into our effects panel. And in order to go into our effects panel, we need to get it. So if you're working in Premiere Pro 2018, you can go up here and you can press effects and it'll get to where you need on the side. However, you can also get to your effects if you don't see it from window. Just go all the way down to effects and boom, it shows up right there. So what we need to add, the effect that we need is called Leave Color. And it is under Video Effects, Color Correction, Leave Color. That's where it is. So if we drag this onto our video here, nothing will happen. And that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. Now what we need to do is we need to tell Leave Color what color to leave and what color to turn black and white. So you're going to go up to your effect controls if you haven't already. If you're in this window here, go to effect controls. Make sure you're pressing the video that you want to affect. And just scroll down here and you'll see this effect Leave Color. What you want to do is you want to press this eyedropper, go over to the color red that you want. If you're not sure what color it's picking up, you can look in this box next to the eyedropper over there and see what shade of red you're getting. So for me, I want to get something kind of in the middle of not too pink and not too red. So something like that looks good. So we're going to press that color. Then the next thing you're going to do is under match colors, you're going to change this to using hue. Using hue makes picking up these colors a lot easier than if you're going to do RGB. And then you want to turn your decolor all the way up to 100% because you're basically saying anything but the color red needs to be gone. And that's what it's looking like. So you can see that it kind of turned the sand black and white, it turned part of the waves black and white, but anything that has red in it is going to stay. Their skin colors right there are staying pink or red. You can see some of the highlights and things in her hair are red. So in order to fix that, you want to go over to tolerance. If you bring tolerance all the way up to 100, it's all going to go back to normal. The lower tolerance you go, the less of the other colors are going to be there. And if you go to 0%, you'll barely have any of your red showing, even the brightest red. So you want to kind of find the sweet spot where you've got your red, but no other red in places you don't want. So for me, it looks like 3% is the right spot. And you can zoom in to see really if there's any other gray popping through, which there are here and there, but it's not too bad. It's not too noticeable. Now, if you go up, though, you can kind of see that his ear turned a little red. There's some pixely red in this seaweed. You still have a little bit of red popping through in her hair here. And if it's really bad, for example, if you really cannot get rid of part of it, if this red is so similar to their skin tone, or this red is so similar to something else, like a fish out in the ocean, and you really don't want that to be red, what you can do is you can add this other effect to it. So this is how you do it in the most simple way. And what I'm going to grade you on is if everything is black and white except for that one color or two colors that you wanted to keep. If I do see any pixels of red around here, you're not going to get that good of a score because there's a way that you can fix it. So now let's just say you want to get rid of something that it's still considered red. Okay, so what you need to do now is you need to go over to the effects controls. You need to type something called Lumetri Color. It should also be under your color correction. So you're just going to click that, drag it over to your video. You'll see that it put it right underneath your selective color, your leave color effect. Everything you're going to need to change is going to be under your basic correction. So if you press this, you bring down the saturation, which is all the way at the bottom, right underneath this reset and auto, and right before you get to those other more advanced ones. You want to bring the saturation down to all the way to 0%. And you can see it brought everything down. So what we need to tell it is not to bring everything down, but just bring like a little section of it down. So what you want to do is you want to use this little pen tool right here, and you'll see that it popped up something called a mask. What we're going to do is we're going to draw around the area that we want to be black and white, and we're going to basically make a mask. So we're going to start with here, since I can see that this is the edge of the blanket, and that's the place where we really don't want it to be touched. And just do kind of like a rough drawing of where you're trying to go. And you can always move these points. If you mess up a point, you can always move it to a different spot. And when you've put your selection together, it'll get into these like bumpy lines, and that's how you know you made a selection. And there you've made a shape or a mask that you can move around. So wherever is inside of this mask, it's going to be black and white because we told it that's where we want it to be. If on accident maybe you added something in and it's got a little too close to something, you can move these points around. They're not fixed on that space. So we can move this one over. You can also change the curvature of these lines as well. If you hold down Alt on your keyboard and press one of your points, you can turn it into a curved point. Now, if you accidentally turn it into a curved point and you don't want it to be a curve, hold Alt again and then click your button and it'll turn it back into a straight line. So that's just a little shortcut for you. Now what you want to do too is you want to make sure that the mask is going to be in the same place the whole time. So we can kind of see we needed to add in some red there. So we'll move this up. If I scrub through my timeline here, I can see that the things I want to be red are red and the things I don't want to be red are left black and white. And that is how you can fix that as well. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you something a little more complicated. I'm going to show you if the thing you're trying to keep black and white is moving and what you can do to fix that.